Hi, my name's Faye. I am the mother of a 3-year-old little boy with autism. Today I'm going to make a video on stimming. So what is stimming? When someone refers to a person stimming, they basically mean they're engaging in self-stimulatory behaviour. Just basically means behaviour that is done to gain sensory feedback of some description for the person doing it, and that's the only purpose it serves. It's literally just for the benefit of the person doing it. Stimming is repetitive in nature and it can involve any of the 5 senses. Some stims are like large body movements, whole body movements like rocking or spinning around. Other common stims are like squinting the eyes or hand flapping, staring at spinning objects, stroking or rubbing surfaces or textures. Smelling things can be a stim, or people can use the voice to stim, so like by squealing or making other unusual sounds or humming or even repeating phrases or words for no other purpose than because they like hearing them. That's a stim. Who stims? The obvious answer is children and adults with autism stim. But let me be very clear on this. Many people stim. Do you bite your nails when you're nervous? Twirl your hair around when you're tired or tap your foot when you're bored? Well, guess what? You're stimming. Very young children stim a lot too, because young children are exploring through their senses. I mean, we all explore the world through our senses, but for young children it's the only means they have to explore the world. They're also learning how to self-regulate and finding things that soothe them. That being said, stimming does occur far more often in individuals with autism. My son is 3 and has always exhibited self-stimulatory behaviour. We didn't, I don't think, recognise it in the beginning. It's very hard in young children anyway to spot. His stims have changed over time as well. I would say they've become more obvious as they've got older, the ones he does have. Some of them have disappeared, some of them have got more pronounced, and others come and go. At the moment, Dexter's my son, I don't know if I mentioned his name. At the moment, Dexter has 2 main stims. He hand flaps when he's excited, which is just like jumping for joy. He's so happy, that's how it comes out. And he hums to comfort himself or to block out his senses to concentrate. So he does this a lot when he's poorly or unsure of something. Which brings me to my next point of why do people stim? People stim for so many different reasons, and the reason why it can be valuable in autism, not only for the individual, and I'll come back to that later, but also for if you're caring for a child with very limited communication, the stims can really give a clue as to what that individual is feeling. That's certainly the case for my son. I can tell the way he's feeling by over time I've observed in what situations he does different stims, and it helps me understand him because his communication at this point, when it comes to explaining his feelings and what's going on in his head, is really very limited. Often these behaviours come so naturally to autistic individuals. The people engaging in them don't stop to analyse why they are doing them, but whether they can explain why they're engaging in that stim or not, there are many different reasons a person can do it. One of the reasons is to soothe or comfort themselves. Another reason is to block out too much sensory stimulation. Dexter struggles to filter out all of the feedback he's receiving. In autism, the brain doesn't filter out in the way a neurotypical brain does everything that's being heard, that's being seen, being felt, and it can become a bit overwhelming. That humming serves as a way to block out what else his brain can't naturally filter out. Sometimes children stim to provide additional sensory stimulation. My son spins himself around when he's bored. I guess this also makes sense if communication and language isn't really very well developed yet, because that's a way we entertain ourselves, by talking to people and engaging with them in play. And if you don't do that, sometimes you're going to want to find other ways to entertain yourself. Children can stim to reduce the sensation of pain. It can also be a way to just release emotion. Hand flapping, like say, might look really unusual. I know in my son, the hand flapping, he hand flaps and makes noise at the same time. And I know to an outsider it can look really unusual and really strange. But it's no different to like jumping for joy or punching the air or squealing in delight, or just think of it like that. Should you prevent a child from stimming? No, not really. That's my main answer. It serves a very important purpose for self-regulation, helping to manage the environment. But there are two exceptions, those being, assuming we're talking about a child here, if that child is causing harm to themselves, and two, when the stimming interferes with everyday activities and learning. I'm no expert on this, and if you feel either of those situations apply to you, definitely seek advice from an occupational therapist or another expert in this field. From my understanding, I think the key is to redirect the stim to provide an alternative outlet rather than just stopping it completely. Obviously, every autistic individual is so completely different, and that goes for every aspect of their development and every aspect of how they present, including stimming. So what my son does might look completely different to what your son or daughter does. It doesn't mean to say they're both not stimming, they're just doing it in different ways. If you still have questions about stimming or anything else related to autism, I urge you to consider joining a group of maybe self-advocates, autistic adults who are there to help you understand the autistic brain. I have joined some of these groups and it has improved my understanding of my son a ridiculous amount. I would urge you to go and do that. They're all over social media and they're very, very helpful in answering questions and helping you understand your child. If you want to follow our journey and my son's journey and his progression over time, then subscribe to our channel. Thank you for watching.
Wow.